right, what is happening, guys? Stream number 2, working on the same instrumental. Let's go. All right, so picking up where we left off yesterday. Yesterday, Tuesday. I'm probably gonna say yesterday quite a bit. But picking up from where we left off on Tuesday, we had gotten down a basic arrangement of everything. A basic arrangement, kick, snare, hi-hat, some bass, and then basically just two synth lines. One's kind of like a melody, while one's more of like a chord progression, back and forth, but it's just kind of arpeggiated, but not really chords. Well, it decides kind of our rhythm or harmony. But I figured a lot of you guys today, I'm seeing a lot of new faces out there, a lot of new people checking in. So just to be fair to all of you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my instrumental here while I tell people that I am live. We're going to multitask. All right. And so here's the instrumental that we have so far. I think that, oh, well, it's on the right window. All right, so that's a pretty good track so far, I would say. Pretty good for me, at least. But there's a lot that can still be done. Novice Fall might have slapped some sort of limit, or well, okay, that was a Young Fall was FL Studio, so a Young Fall would have just slapped a Maximus mastering preset on the end of this and be like, yeah, this is golden. But there's so much room for opportunity here. And as it was playing, I was trying to think of some things that I want to do. And the first thing that I wanted to do was have some sort of like pad sound during different parts. So like going through it, maybe like during this section we can, arm that to maybe. No. Yeah, maybe something like that. Obviously, I don't like that the sound. It's just two sine waves. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, so there's sine waves moving into square waves. So I'm gonna record that in first, and then we'll start coming up with a cool sound for it. And this totally breaks everything, because rarely do I ever use anything but my Analog Synths and Serum. But with the fact that I'm trying to stream, I've also come to the realization that I need to use other synth software-wise that won't lag the hell out of my computer when I layer so many of them. So we're gonna use Meld. Next stream, we're gonna focus on sound effects for this track. And doing that, we are gonna play a lot more with the analog rack over here. The big problem with using the analog rack right now is I have it set up with my old camera, and as fun as that is to use, you can't really tell what I'm doing, and I could explain it, but I figured I'll set up next time a better camera setup so that I can primarily stay over there, and we could have some fun with the modular synth. But yeah, all right, guys, so stream number 2 for this song, we are going good. Now, let's get into doing this chord progression. Shit, I already forgot it. Okay. That's why you don't. Yeah, maybe moving like that. All right, let's try it. Like okay, so I just need to make sure I land that right. First one, right? And then maybe repeat it like that. We'll clean it up though. I am not anywhere near as focused as I was the last time I was playing, which is not the best, but we are gonna manage. We are not gonna do the ends. And then this way right now, Yeah, just fixing some rough MIDI. Yeah, I think all of those are better off selling. Okay, so yeah, that is kind of a cool little rhythmic thing that we have going on off. I have used Meld once, and I added it to this template that I made because I was like, I really liked it that one time I used it for chords. So I'll use that in my little chord pad session that I've made. But yeah, I have no clue what I really want to do with this sound. So this will be fun. We're gonna loop the region and just kind of go. Ooh, I kind of like this. Too bright though. Okay, yeah, something like that would be, I think, really cool to see. Okay. Since this is kind of like a little rhythmic chord stab, what if I put the echo in a group and then turn it up to fully wet? Then we can duplicate it and then change that and maybe like something completely different. And then we can just make a new chain, and this one's gonna be called dry. And then we're gonna turn these down a lot. And then maybe it'd be cool, like adding some sort of modulation under each echo, so that they're a lot different than each other. And I said modulation, but like on this longer one, what if I put roar in front of it? And then did some crazy. Yeah, so that adds kind of like a cool synth, or it adds a little bit more to the sound, to me, in the sense that now that we have the main stab sound, we have these like echoing kind of out rhythmic kind of things to it, but adding the roar underneath the one of these delay is so far. Like if we solo it, you can hear the longer delay has a new sonic quality to it. And what if we put something on the end of this one too? On this other delay, I want to... Ooh, what if we... Just for the fun of it, what if we tried it against a vocoder on like one of the other sounds coming from this? So if we put like a vocoder on the end of this and then soloed this chain. Oh, something that I've been doing when I use vocoders, not like vocoders, is sometimes I'll put an EQ in front of it. And try to like gauge out what my frequency range is going to be so that I can utilize the most of the, or as much of the sonic information that's there. Because if you have your range way too wide, there are just going to be some bands that never do anything, and you could utilize the bands better if they matched all of your frequency range. So like if I have a sound that's only from like 400 hertz to like 750, having that wide range of 80 hertz to 12K, there's so much space that's not going to do anything. And a lot of times, if you're using very few bands, a lot of them are going to be, you may end up with the sound in like one band, depending on how you have it set up. And that's not very useful. But right now, let's try. We're going to try 16. And then if you turn, so basically a vocoder, it's going to split your audio signal into bands. And so that's where your band count comes here. So it just groups frequencies as bands, and then the volume of the incoming band, or of the modulator, or of the carrier, which is your synth sound, is going to impress its frequency bands against the envelope, or what is used as a volume envelope, which is your voice. It does it per band, and that's how you get this synth to kind of sound like somebody talking. But in this, we are going to use our gate here. So if the band doesn't reach this threshold, the band stays silent. So you can kind of hear that here. Or well, let me mute everything. But what you're gonna hear is as I increase that gate, less and less bands are gonna become active. Thank you, the party #1 in chat. Just saw that. Woo! But yeah, as I raised the gate volume, less and less bands showed up. And so that's kind of cool. We can use this enhanced noise that kind of helps smooth everything out, adds a little bit of high-end noise. And then it sounds a bit like this. Now it sounds like this. Next thing I want to try playing around with is the bandwidth of those. You can remove, basically you can comb out frequencies to where inside the band you're removing a portion of the beginning of the band and a portion of the end of the band, so that you're removing sonic or harmonic content. And it has kind of a very unique sound. Set this back to 100, gate at negative infinity, and this is what the bandwidth sounds like. So yeah, it just thins out how much harmonic content you're getting, and so just kind of hear that. And yeah, I think I'll probably leave that pad sound like that, or chord stab like that for the time being. And then I want to put it in my other section that's kind of similar right now. And so I want to layer the matriarch sound, and I'm probably going to do that with Serum, I think. Yeah, so like right when the bass comes in here, I'm gonna layer the matriarch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a new MIDI track, and we're gonna go ahead and finally bust out another copy of Serum 2. And scoot that off to the side for a second. To make my life easier, we are just gonna grab this. And then put it like that. And then we'll tell it to loop that region. And then now, once again, come up with a sound from scratch. But for this one, instead of doing like this back and forth, what if I just dragged out these? And there's a reason I'm thinking of doing the notes like this, because I still want there to be like motion to it, but I'm thinking I'll use like an envelope to kind of, or a LFO to kind of loop things out and make it look cool or sound cool. Then we're just gonna copy all of that. Oh, well, zoom out. Copy all of that shit and then just bam, right over. Bam. Oh yeah, I need that there. Yeah, bam. That is looking good. And then we'll duplicate that. Yeah, that sounds like ass. Hello, Diggity Music. What is happening? All right, so yeah, so right now this little melody, or well, kind of progression thing is awful sounding. It's just a saw wave. But let's start digging into some cool shapes. I always am a big fan of my vocal waveforms here. So first, let's just go ahead and link an LFO to the movement of that wavetable position and just hear how it sounds. So yeah, the sound can be kind of, it's a lot right now. So I do need some motion to the sound, but that is good. We extended these out. If we look, they're each at its longest a quarter note. So we can set this into like a quarter note and start doing some cool, like wacky rhythms to it. So if you hold shift and then like click in the middle area of one of these, you'll be able to create two little points there and then move them around. I don't know why I did that on those two, but let's kind of, so right now I'm building like this gated kind of like a techno kind of rhythm thingy. And in Serum, you could actually, we can modulate this a bit. If we modulate the X position, or we want to do the Y because we want it to be up and down. So instead of like a flat kind of silence or almost silent part, you can make it ramp itself. So if we do like I like to do for these kind of changes, and I just did it to the X again, damn it. So you want to modulate the Y. So it goes up and down. And then if you modulate this Y with the same note on random, So now we have some a little bit of motion to that rhythm to where it's going to change a bit and not be too robotic. That's the problem with this synth music these days, sounding way too robotic. It's like it came from an electronic instrument. And then I want to do something with the filter because it's way too bright. I have not used a diffuser. Ooh, that is kind of a... So now it sounds even... Now it sounds like a little kid crying for some reason to me. Or like whining. Something about like that diffuser has like a whiny quality to it. The automation on the low pass or high pass filter was not it on this sound. I do still feel like there's something really harsh kind of sounding, and I'm trying to figure out what it is so I can get rid of it. Okay. I swear I won't blow any more eardrums out. That was really loud and unpleasant. Note to self, do not look at my phone while I am at work. Yeah, we're gonna ponder on that edition. And before we ponder, I'm going to bounce the track. I'm gonna bounce that track into place because while notice I can't talk when it does that. But yeah, no, I plan on messing with the sound further for this intro part, but the way it is, I kind of like a bit. So what if we spend some time just chopping it up for this second spot so that it's not just a copy pasted section. Yeah, just some really glitchy kind of sounding stuff. and then kind of repeat that. And then right here, we're gonna reverse it. And then chop. You going up, baby? Come on. All right. Well, no cat's joining us right now. All right. So. We need to keep doing shit to this. What do you hear? So the important part about chopping is twofold, really. Well, kind of a two ideas I have with it. One is to do what you hear in your head, and two is to just slice and dice like there's no tomorrow and listen to what you get and then build off of it. And so right now, I guess I'm kind of hybridizing that. I'm just kind of cutting based off of things I've done in the past that I know sound good. And then that kind of reviewing then and listening back, I'll start hearing like, oh, well, it would be cool if we did that. So that's kind of, or so like in that vein, I'll grab this tiny little section, and I do this all the time. Now we're just gonna time stretch it and just play with the different warp modes. And then an awkward cut. Yeah. You kind of have to have a little wonkiness to the chops. You can't always be perfect grooves, or else people are going to tell you're doing this electronically and not hand cutting that magnetic tape and putting it together to comp tracks. Guys, can we just appreciate the world we live in? I've been reading books, or I watched this old like videotape thing you could buy about building a home studio, and it was from the early 90s, and I was just blown away by multi-track recording, like old school, where it's like, all right, so you have 4 tapes, you're gonna have a master tape, everything you're gonna record is gonna go on there, and you can only do so many overdubs because tape hiss, and every time you overdub, that tape hiss is gonna go up, and it's just like, that is way too much. I could never. That's why I like my computer. Yeah, I think that's funny. What if we counted by 2 and then 3? What would that do rhythmically? It's certainly not getting me to an exact. I'm just gonna do this till I land at the start of it. Bam, okay, yeah, we would have started there. Okay, yeah, like, it kind of has a triplet feel-ish. me. Yeah, well, it feels like it's part or like a file that's been like distorted or corrupted, and it's like trying not to be. I also like to, well, all these notes start per. Just grab the very tip of the note. And then take another big section so we. And just the tail for those. Yeah, that was cool. I kind of like that little. Yeah, that little, I like that little rhythm going on. Let's steal it again. Yeah, I wanted to do it right there. So we're gonna cut 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. But what if this part is going up in pitch? So we can go into our envelopes, our clip, and then a transposition. So yeah, it's just these 4 notes. I'm gonna go up 4 octaves, 3 octaves. My idea was we could go up an octave per note, but eventually we're gonna get way too high and can't come down. But I do really like that, so I'm gonna steal that and put that over here. And another cool, like a lot of beats and stuff are built around, in my opinion, are kind of like sections of loops. And so kind of when I do chopping like this, my thought is sending it more like a journey instead of, or like if I already I have this whole loop that's the length of a section, and instead of just doing like half of it and then copy and pasting it, if I continue just to change how I'm chopping it, it feels like there's more of a direction in the track, like something that your ear is following through a story. You're going through a similar location, but with new events happening. Yeah, is my thinking. And then what if we start up and go down, so we can go back to our, raise this 36 semitones, and then we'll come down 36 semitones. And then what if we double timed it? And then we quadruple it. Okay, what if we leave these last 4 bars, but on this last one here, we'll take the transposition and we're gonna like make it just feel like the track's breaking. Yeah, there we go. So it goes out of tune, but I think everything else kind of staying locked in helps this sound transition us. I didn't realize my analog camera is still recording. What do you know? Wow. All right, so let's kind of listen to this whole section now and see how it's sounding. All right. I was thinking of different ways I could do this, and since I'm lazy, we're gonna do it by duplicating our entire synth. I wanted to do something with this sound. Yeah, in this. Actually, no, before we do that, there was one bar in here that I did not like how it sounded. Yeah, so is this whole reversed section. It's just a little bit too much for me. So what if we... Fuck. I really like that sped up. Actually, I'm just gonna bounce this track. Consolidating something when you're about to chop it up is kind of pointless too. I just like to begin looking at everything like that. And we're gonna do some chopping, but rarely do I use okay. I use Serum too religiously. But everything else that I use is stock. Except for on the rare occasion, I'll test out a plugin, and if I like it, I'll keep it. Really, I've done that with Supermassive, but I decided to try out their space modulator and frequency echo, and I really like this frequency echo. So let's use this a little bit in our track. Not only are we going to chop, but now we're going to do some automating of parameters. Oh, and I want to set a delay time. I don't want to lose the free mode. Let's try. Yeah, for the beginning, let's set this up all the way. Because in this beginning part, before the Mother 32 comes back in, I kind of wanted to play around with this sound as sort of a just ear candy, for lack of better words, leading into our next section. So I have, what, 4 bars? Yeah, okay. So we'll just highlight here, and then we'll tell that to loop. Oh, well, tell that to loop. Yeah, okay, so first we want to change the mix here, and then I want it to be at 100 until this last part where it's going to start going down, but we're not going to get rid of it entirely. Let's just leave it. Okay, and then this, we'll have go up in stages, so it'll start at 1,000, right? And what if we have it and like it comes up? And this last one is gonna send it over, and then it's gonna well, also oh, and I should probably have it lead us out so we can hear how it sounds. Oh wait, no, we're gonna do one last little kind of before this jumps down. Or well, let's leave it like that, and then this shift. The shift is gonna come down a ton at that last moment. Okay, perfect. And I do kind of like having it frequency shifted a little bit. But what if we like have it transition from being slightly below to like slightly above? Okay, and then let's use our ears for this next part, guys. And by that, I mean, where would it be cool to kind of like, we have this frequency, like if we just listen. Or let me solo this sound so it's easy. Like there's a lot of cool potential with throwing that around, and I feel like, or my thing here is, my thinking here is just to take this sound and normalize it, because That may make it a little bit easier. Well, that didn't do anything really. But no, I want to use the frequency shifter to kind of like highlight certain uniquenesses in the track, like sound. So I'll show you what I mean. Or like in this area. Like in there, what if we take our mix and like swing it up temporarily? And then we can take our shift value, quit. That didn't actually do a whole lot, unfortunately. Maybe if I modified this a little bit more. Oh, that's why. If I want the cool shifty stuff to happen, I'm gonna have to do it here so that it echoes into the part that's wet. That's my issue. So if we bring this guy back, I'm like, why is that not doing anything to my sound? Yeah, so I want that to happen again there. So we'll grab our shift and we're gonna tell it to bam, bada bop, boom, bow. Oh, okay, and then we'll take our mix that's doing this over here and ashabam. Okay, and that's cool, but I didn't even think about how chopping this may affect everything. So let's add that in too, kind of playing around with it. Let's zoom in some more. And then do that again here. So what if we grab and then do that again? No, not again. Yes, again. That is so cool. I love frequency shifting. I think as cool as those are, I don't really think you're gonna hear too much of those micro chops. So probably not doing any more of those. Yeah. All right. So from here, what is it that we want to do next? Good question. For some reason, this is feedbacking. Oh, that'll do it. All right. So also, guys, pro tip: make sure that you are looking at the right track and that you set your feedback to not be so fucking high all the time. All right, so I think I know what this track needs to be complete. I need to mix and stuff like that. I probably should have been doing more of that as we were going. Make my job easier in the long run, but that's fine. No, the last kind of really creative step I want to do is go through and kind of come up with or do sound effects, for lack of better words. Sounds for the intro, outro, risers, downlifters, just stuff like that. And for that, I will be using the modular gear, which usually, as much as it's kind of geared for that kind of thing, or would be really good for that, typically I do all my risers and downlifters and all that fun stuff in Serum, primarily because I really like to sit in one spot. But that is not conducive to being a modular master. So tomorrow night, we are going to do a stream focused around sound effects for this song through the modular synth. All right, guys. Thank you to all my closest friends and family for coming out tonight. Saying goodbye to my one viewer. I appreciate you coming out tonight. No, just kidding. We had a few people come in. It was a really fun stream. All right.